What's up, everybody? So I started a project a year or two ago, and I never finished it. And my blue truck's been sitting around doing nothing. Just don't feel like driving it right now. Don't know why. So today I want to finish my project. We are going to try and hook up some HHO to this Iron Duke motor. So that means we need to mount our tank, mount the fuel cell, and get it plumbed in somehow. I haven't hooked one up before, but we made some gas, threw it in the boiler, that exploded, so I know it works. Now we just got to figure out how to make it work and save us some gas. So first thing we're going to do is get this thing mounted up. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and drill and tap a couple holes in there to hold the cell down. Normally I'd probably just tack weld it, but if I ever have to clean it, you're going to want to be able to remove it. So we'll do a little time lapse on that. Okay, so we got that mounted. Now we're just gonna figure out where to put this fuel tank reservoir, I guess, whatever you want to call it, because it's pretty big and there's not a lot of room, so it might take me a minute to figure this one out. Alright, I think we're gonna try to mount it there. So we got 3 lines that it's gonna have to hook up to this tank, and it's not straight, but I mean, these trucks aren't very big. So the only problem we might run into is, I can't remember if this is classified as a dry cell or wet cell, but the power is on the outside of the fuel cell, and this one has one side, the lowest side always has water or your mixture, whatever you want to call it, and then you have your gas outside. So that tank's at, it has to be on the bottom to always have water in it, and then the gas will float up through the top. So if I have the tank bottom too low, it's not going to want to keep water in there, and then we're going to have problems. So all we're going to have to do is get it mounted and put some water in it. Well, I forgot the fittings leak a little bit, so we had to use some special gasket maker and get these sealed up. That way we can put some water in to test it. So that's all we're waiting on at this point. Alright, so we got our tank mounted over here. Just use one bolt, and then we're going to get our lines hooked up here. This will be our gas return, which will also have water full on this side here. And then this side over here will be our main fill point. Go ahead and put that on the bottom one, which I cut it a little bit too short. That's cool. Well, it'll probably leak for sure now. Okay, so get it down here. this will be our power wire, positive, negative. This will be our gas return. This will be our water feed. And then this line here will be your supply line to the intake. But I haven't figured out if I need to put that before or after the throttle body injector on the top. So that'll probably be an experiment, but we got this so far. So now we gotta, for now I'm just gonna take this line, feed it somewhere in the intake, and looks like we got a little air leak, so we can't have an air leak. But yeah. So for demonstration purposes, we're just gonna hook up jumper cables to this off the battery, so we don't have to hardwire anything right now. But when we do hardwire, I'm gonna use a big ground cable straight to the engine block, and then I'll have a smaller positive wire. We don't need anything this big for doing what we're doing. And then we'll install a relay somewhere so that I can turn it on when I want it on, and not when it's running all the time, because there's not all the times you're going to want it. But eventually, if this does work correctly, I want to put a little micro switch on the throttle body, so at a certain percentage open, it will automatically produce the hydrogen and then dump that in the motor. That's my goal, but we just got to experiment and see what we can do. So let's get some jumper cables and battery hooked up.